Hello YouTube. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I haven't had to do any recent repairs or make any modifications. But recently I found a gem on the internet and picked it up. This is a 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee 3-liter common rail diesel, and then it uses a Mercedes-Benz engine, which I didn't even know that they made Grand Cherokees with diesel engines before 2015. But apparently they did a limited run of them from 2007 through 2008. So if you were fortunate enough to get your hands on one of the models that has the 3-liter engine, I'm sure that you were pleasantly surprised with its performance. However, it does have a lot of needs as far as diesels are concerned. So today we're going to be doing an oil change on this vehicle, and you'll need some specialty tools. The oil filter is a cartridge filter which sits behind this 84mm cap. You could possibly use a strap wrench on this. However, I would be worried because it's a plastic cap, and I would be worried about rounding off some of these edges. So I would recommend that you just go out and purchase an oil filter wrench or socket. 84mm fits right on there. That way you don't have to worry about rounding any of the edges. That, in addition, trying to get in here with a strap wrench will be very difficult given the limited amount of space. Using the socket will make things a lot easier. So this is where your cartridge filter is. Over here is your oil filter cap. Now, because it's a diesel, it has very specific requirements as far as the oil, which has been an absolute bear to find. They want the Mercedes-Benz formula 228.1 as far as these are concerned, but they prefer it to be in the viscosity of 5W30. Most companies don't even make a diesel oil in 5W30, so be careful when you're purchasing your oil. Make sure that it is the correct blend that you're using. I special order my oil directly from AMSOIL. That way I can be sure. I'm also going to be using a Pronto filter as far as this. So in some of my other videos I showed how to make a makeshift funnel, which I got a lot of ridicule on that. So yes, I do have a funnel, and I have my oil funnel right here, so I'll be using that this time. If you want to see how to make a makeshift funnel for doing this so you don't have to go out and buy one, then that's fine. You can look at my video regarding the oil change on the Dodge Journey. Other tools that you'll need your wrench, and you'll need a 13mm wrench for the drain plug. The drain plug is up underneath the vehicle in a recess underneath the belly pan. That's if your vehicle still has the belly pan on it. Most shops will just take the belly pan off and leave it off. I personally like to leave the belly pan on just because it helps give added protection as far as that's concerned. So we'll start off and we'll just open up our caps. Now, what I did prior to this video is I let the vehicle run to operating temperature. That way it increases the viscosity, and I also drove it up on my ramps a while. You'll also need, at a minimum, a 11 quart or 12 quart oil pan, because this holds 2.5 gallons, which is 10 quarts of oil. So open up your cap to allow it to breathe, and then we're going to go ahead and remove our cap from our oil filter. Right here is our oil filter. Just let that drain for a minute. We can just dispose of the oil filter. We'll go ahead and leave that open for now. We'll slide up underneath the vehicle. Now underneath the vehicle, this is the belly pan. You'll see there's a recess right here, and then on this side is the bolt or the drain plug for your oil pan. So you just throw your 13 millimeter on there. You can get it loose. And be careful when this comes out. It comes out pretty quickly. Alright, so make sure you have a good drain on that, and we'll be right back. Alright, so once you have a good drain, you're going to wipe off your drain plug, check your washer, make sure there's no damage, no scoring, and get that nice and wiped down. And then we'll go ahead and reinstall our drain plug up underneath our vehicle. Reach up inside. And we'll just reinstall the drain plug. Grab it in. And put your wrench on. You want to be careful not to over tighten, maybe just a quarter turn or so, just so it's snug. There we go. That's good. And that's on there. Now we can move back up the top of our vehicle. We'll start working on our filter. Alright, right here is the filter cap. We'll wipe that down. Now most of the filter caps, or most of the filters that you purchase, will come with a replacement washer or seal right here. I'm just going to throw a temporary pause on this and open up my filter pack. Alright, so these are the contents of my filter pack. I have my filter, I have my replacement seals, and then I have another replacement seal. You'll notice the filter does not come with the stem that came on the original filter. You can see there's a little bit of a stem on there. If you need to get it out, just take your filter, put the stem bottom, and then pop it right out. Okay, then you can dispose of the cartridge, and here's your stem. The small seal right here gets replaced by the small seal that's inside of the packet, and then the seal that's around here gets replaced by the large seal. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so this is the old seal, and that came right off the tip of the plunger, and we're going to replace that with the new seal that's in here. We can get rid of the old seal. Here is the new seal. We're just going to take that, just roll that right on top. Just like so. Okay, now I have my new seal on top. Take my plunger, insert it into my filter, push it down until it clicks in place. Now my filter is ready. So we'll take that and we can set that off to the side. On this seal, it works if you start at the bottom and rotate your fingers to the top to get that little loop. And you just grab a hold of the open loop and take off your seal. Your new seal, just roll right back on. Alright, and then your new seal should fit in the large space between all the threads, right like so. Your filter should snap into place on top of your filter cap, and then you should be about ready to fill. Alright, so make sure it snaps in place. If you have difficulty snapping it in place, one of the things that you can do is this plunger right here is what actually affixes to the cap. You can just remove the filter and snap the plunger in place and then slide the filter on top if that's easier. Me, I like doing it the other way around. I've never had a problem doing it that way, but in case you have problems getting it to seat, and it will seat, if I can pick it up, you can see that's seated. You don't want to tighten that down without that being appropriately seated. Alright, so we'll leave that off and then we'll start to fill it with the oil. So we're going to get our funnel. Now, depending on what website you go to, they tell you to fill it in different locations. Some tell you to fill from the filter point. I always fill from the oil fill point. So we'll get our funnel. Now, this funnel has a stop valve on it, and it also has a screen filter to help keep any particle and debris out of the oil. So we'll put our funnel in and make sure that it's open, which I require 2 hands, so I'm going to have to pause the video just to make sure it's open. Alright, again, now this, by manufacturer's specs, holds 2.5 gallons or 10 quarts. You can buy the 2.5 gallon jugs online. Again, it's difficult to find 5W30. A lot of blogs say that the 5W40, which is a lot easier to come by, is also acceptable. I would be careful about switching viscosities, just because the engineers designed the seals and designed the pump to withstand certain strains. So you could end up damaging your oil pump, or if you're using something with a very high viscosity, the oil could seep between the seals. And then we're going to just go ahead and fill our oil from here. Alright, once you're filled, remove your funnel, wipe away any spills that you have. If your engine smokes a little bit because of spilling, that's normal. If it smokes a lot, then you might want to double check to make sure that you actually got it into the oil filter or into the oil filler. Now that we have that fill, we just want to take a quick double check underneath, make sure nothing's leaking. I don't have anything leaking. I can go ahead and replace my filler cap. And then we'll take our filter and plunger first. Trying to get this thing to seat with the engine shroud on. Be careful not to cross thread anything. There it goes. Alright. Alright, so I have that on. I can still have quite a gap between the cap and here. So we're just going to torque that down. Careful not to over tighten. Alright, there it's seated. Again, you don't want it overly tight. We'll take our filter off, or filter wrench off. Alright, so once you got everything in, wipe down any oil that you may have. You may want to let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes just so it will pull back down into the oil pan. So that your oil pump can properly distribute the amount of oil that you have. Once you've let it sit for the required 5 to 10 minutes so that the oil settles, we'll hop in, fire it up, check our oil levels, and reset our oil life gauge. Alright, I've let the vehicle sit for approximately 10 minutes now. I'm going to fire it up. So you turn it to run and wait for the glow plug indicator to turn off. And fire it up. Once we have it fired up, we'll go over here using your menu button. We'll reset our oil life. It'll tell you which interval that you want it at. Usually keep it at 5,000. When you hit step, it'll change. And then it'll say reset service interval, hit step. That'll say yes. And you can hit your reset button. And then that'll reset your oil. And everything looks like it's running good right now. So it's time to back it off the ramps, clean up the rest of any spillage or anything that we had going on, take it for a test drive to make sure it's running correctly, and we'll be good to go. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to post a few more.